I delivered paid sales training to more than 55 people this year, and the best part about this is I did not pitch a single one of them or try and sell them my services. They all booked with me inbound, so totally passive money I've made online. Of course, I had to show up and deliver the one-on-one trainings, but the way anyone can set up an online coaching or training business is to post useful content about your topic, for me that's sales, across LinkedIn especially and YouTube, give without the expectation of return, and then post your paid Calendly link in the description of your YouTube videos and especially your LinkedIn featured profile section. And in today's video, I'm gonna talk about why I decided to trade my time for money and offer sales training one-on-one, how I do it, and what's next for my sales training business as I think about going beyond one-to-one, B2C, to perhaps one-to-many, B2B. My hope is that you find value from today's video by learning about one of my online income streams to hopefully give you some creative new ways of thinking about, well, hey, it wouldn't be that hard to set up a paid Calendly link. And although I'm 2 years in my career, I know some stuff that someone who doesn't even have a career probably could benefit from. So I really think anyone could start making a few hundred, if not a few $1,000s with the strategy I'm gonna outline here today. And of course, I have linked my one-on-one coaching in the description below. If you'd like to meet with me individually to talk about sales training and leveling up in your career, or how you could implement a similar paid Calendly link strategy to start making money by selling your services with coaching, training, or whatever it is you have to offer to other people. Beginning with why I started offering sales training, I started making sales content about 3 years ago because I worked in software sales. I loved what I was doing in software sales. I'm obsessed with success. And the idea of making money online was very interesting to me. And the idea of helping other people that were a chapter behind in their own story than I am in my journey, I thought that was really interesting. I don't have all the answers. I'm not an expert. I don't have credentials on paper. I don't have advanced degrees. I don't have accreditations of all these publications I've appeared on. I'm someone that's made 60,000 cold calls. I promoted 6 times in my software sales career. I made $302,000 at age 26 working in sales. So I feel like I have some answers for people's problems, for people who are looking to get hired in sales and people who are looking to advance their sales careers, especially as it relates to outbound prospecting strategies. So I had all this information. I'm a sales guy first and foremost. So that's what I do. I'm a sales guy, and then I post content on the side. I post content on YouTube, I post content on LinkedIn, over 80,000 followers across both platforms, and I never tried to monetize. I never tried to make money with it. I just wanted to post useful content that people wanted to rewatch, that people found engaging, that people actually found useful to benefit them in their career. And then there eventually came a day where I realized, okay, well, I've given so much value. I have a brand, people know who I am, people trust me. Maybe I can offer even more value. And here's a key insight that you could take away from this video, is you can give free content away forever and people will love that, but people will love you even more for the paid offerings you give them. Because whenever you pay for something, you tend to take it a little bit more serious. Okay, I'm now paying for the gym membership. I'm a little bit more likely to show up and actually stick to this fitness plan I'm putting together for myself for the new year. So when you offer something to your audience that's paid and they pay for it, they will take it much more serious than as if you gave them the same thing totally for free. I have dozens of people reaching out to me in my LinkedIn DMs and YouTube comments saying, hey, I have this question, can you help me? Hey, can you meet with me? And there came a point in time where I decided, you know what? I need to offer paid coaching so I can offer a more advanced solution to those people who trust me, who believe I have value to offer them. Before I started offering paid coaching, I met with one of my friends who was already offering paid coaching. He posted on LinkedIn how he made tens of thousands of dollars. He did all this coaching stuff. So I literally set up a meeting with him through his paid coaching link. It was like $150 for 30 minutes of his time. He instantly texted me and said, hey man, we're friends on a personal level. You don't need to pay for my coaching. I'll take a call with you at any point. And I said, no, I really want to learn what you're doing, what you have to offer, and I think I'll find the session much more useful if I'm actually paying for it. And he's like, all right. So we met up later that afternoon, and I asked him, hey, how do you do this? And that gets into part number 2 of this video, how I actually do the coaching. He's like, it's simple. I post useful content, and I simply have a paid Calendly link, and you just go to Calendly and you just set it up, and then you start offering people that link. So I realized it's actually much easier than I thought. So I made my own link, and then I started to include it in my LinkedIn feature profile section and in the description of some of my YouTube videos. And then all of a sudden, passively, I get an email notification on some days, and it says, hey, James has booked a 30-minute one-on-one coaching with you for Monday afternoon. I see these and I'm fired up because I love meeting with people one-on-one, especially, even if I don't have any preconceived context to them. In my Calendly booking description, I ask them specific questions, what outcomes they're looking for, and I provide suggested topics based on my own personal lived experiences, how I think I can benefit them. So then I show up to the Calendly link and join the meeting. Whenever they join, I always do video call. And I always start with this first question, and this is how I actually deliver the training, because I had never really done training before. I participated in many trainings, but I never was the guy that was going to show up and give the answers. It's very important to listen. One of my key principles is seek first to understand, then be understood. So I'm not going to get on the call and just start sharing all this information without knowing what they want to get out of the meeting. So I'll say, look, I really appreciate you booking time with me. It really means a lot to me. What do you hope to get out of today's meeting? Pause. What would make today's time as useful as possible for you? And then at that point, they're going to go off onto why they booked the meeting, what they hope to get out of the call. And then once they talk about that reason, ask them, so why is that so important? Why does it matter now for you to take a look at this? You got to understand where they're coming from and that compelling desire, that reason for change, so you can keep playing into that throughout the meeting. So for example, maybe someone comes in the meeting and says, yes, I just got put on a performance plan. I'm making enough volume calls to be successful, but I'm not setting enough meetings. I want to rework my cold calling script or who I'm actually adding to my sequence. So then we can start talking about actual tactics, and I can ask, so tell me more about how you're doing it today. Why is that not working? What is your target? What would success even look like to you? And I'm going to begin by asking probing questions, because you will be able to drive and influence change more by asking questions than by just telling information. So I try and avoid showing up and just saying, go do this, go do this. I want to ask them questions and then lead them to an agreed upon outcome that they find useful. And that's how I do the one-on-one calls. I offer a 30-minute link, I offer an hour link, and I primarily do this one-to-one. I think of it as B2C, business to consumer, for people who are looking to get into sales or people who are already in sales. And the two use cases I found to be most useful is, number one, people who have an upcoming sales interview who are looking to do a role play, prepare a script, email, talk about interview strategy. Or number two, people who are already in a sales job who are looking to improve their performance or avoid bad performance. Primarily it's cold call training, so we do scripts, we talk about approach, who to call, what to say, how to think about it, and then additionally career advancement topics. So where are you at today? Where do you want to go? What's preventing you from getting there? And these are all topics that I've personally encountered, that I find super interesting, that I just love meeting with people on. And then finally, the third part of this video is what's next for me. So when you are selling your time for money, the thing you gotta realize is you are selling your time for money. So it's lower leverage than selling your audience a digital download, which is a course product, for example. And I also do a lot there. And I'm happy to make a video explanation if you guys would find that interesting. But what I find is that you have a certain amount of leverage. So if you meet with me for 30 minutes, it's gonna cost $125. But I'm doing one-on-one. So what if I could get a cohort? What if I could get 10 people to pay me $99 to meet with me for that same 30 minutes? So I'm considering that potentially. I'm also considering B2B. So I'm a business, Trent Dressel LLC. I could go do sales training to a business, a group of SDRs, a team of 15 SDRs, and charge $1,500 for 30 minutes rather than $125 for 30 minutes of just one sales rep's time. But that then comes with the complications of, okay, now there's higher stakes, it's more money, there's bigger outcomes, bigger expectations, and I don't love the idea of trading my time for money. But it is a really effective way to make money on your own terms. So that's what I'm thinking about as it relates to the sales training. On a side note, content-wise strategy for the channel, for those of you who have been supporting me for a while, you know I used to work in software sales, you know I live in Austin, Texas now, I've moved around, I bounce around topics. I'm just trying to be myself, I'm trying to lead with value, and I'm trying to make videos that I find interesting that other people will find interesting as well. In an effort to level up my production, I invested $2,000 yesterday on professional level studio quality equipment. I will be setting up a professional recording studio in my apartment. I have a guy coming over that's a professional podcast studio owner to help set it up for me. And there's actually a few other items that I need to buy, like a desk, chair. It's gonna probably be a couple more $1,000. But I don't look at it as return on investment. I'm not saying, oh, I spent $2,000 and I need to make this much money back. I'm not worried about making the money back. I'm just worried about making the most useful, the most interesting content that I am capable of making that you hopefully find worthwhile spending your time watching, engaging, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel. That is my focus for 2024. And my measurable goal is not money, not coaching clients. It is 100,000 followers on YouTube, 100,000 followers on LinkedIn. Point blank, that is the objective. That's what I'm gonna be working towards every day. And the way I will know I'm achieving that or not is, of course, looking at the subscriber count, but ultimately, what is the engagement? How long do people watch for? How long do people continue to come back? So I would love to hear your feedback down below, ideas you have for how I can improve your experience in an effort to deliver you more free value. That is how I established my online sales training business. I believe this model is repeatable for any sales training or coaching you're looking to deliver. And I talked about my why, how I do it, and what's next for me in the channel. Thank you so much for watching here today, and Happy New Year.